everybody. We're back with Rachel Maddow. Now, a couple weeks ago, 10 days ago, several members of Congress, all veterans, put out a video saying, just a reminder that the Uniform Code of Military Justice says that you not only can disobey a illegal order, but that you should disobey an illegal order. That's taught in Officer Training Corps.
Yes.
The president's response to that was to call it seditious behavior, if I'm paraphrasing here. No, seditious behavior, punishable by all caps death. Do you know of any precedent in American history where the president called for the execution of sitting members of Congress?
I do not. It's not just bad about the Trump administration, it's also a tragedy for members of the military who are being put in between a rock and a hard place, because members of the military will follow the orders of civilian leadership. It's a really important part of who we are as a country. But when those orders are illegal, they're put in the position of having to parse what to do, and there's no good answer. What the military tells them to do is to not obey illegal orders. But here's the Secretary of Defense and the president effectively saying, well, if I said it, it's not illegal. It just puts Admiral Bradley at this special operations. It puts everybody involved in those strikes in a disastrous position where they may be charged with war crimes or with murder for doing something that Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth told them to do. And that's not fair to our members in the military.
I agree. I guess the only justifications put forth for all of these votes is that they are drugs generally, full of drugs generally, sometimes specifically labeled for fentanyl, even though Venezuela is not really involved in the fentanyl trade.
Yeah.
But at the same time, while this sort of narco-terrorism justification has been put out there, convicted drug trafficker and former Honduran President Juan Hernandez was released from prison today after receiving a pardon from Trump, even though he was found guilty by an American jury, sentenced to something like 45 years in jail. And it was for aiding in the smuggling of 400 tons of cocaine that he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, we will force the powder up the gringo's nose.
Yes.
And Trump pardoned him. Is there any, obviously that flies in the face of fighting narco-terrorism. Has the White House put forth any rationale for this?
No, not at all. I mean, why are we going to go to war with Venezuela? Anybody? Like, has anybody heard an argument?
Also, another thing, they haven't put forth any rationale for that.
The only rationale they've put forth is that we're stopping drug trafficking of fentanyl, which doesn't come from Venezuela. Okay, and if there is a drug trafficking rationale for a war, which is a pretty dubious idea in the first place, since drug trafficking is a crime, so why make it a war? To have just pardoned the most prolific convicted drug smuggler in the history of the United States and set him free makes absolutely no sense. And so,
can you think of why it is? He just doesn't like the idea of a president going to jail for anything.
No, it's weird.
But I think that's a serious question, because he doesn't like Jair Bolsonaro.
Yeah.
You know, that seems related to me.
I mean, it should be noted that this particular drug trafficking former Honduran president did hire a Republican lobbying firm a few years ago and paid them a lot of money in order to get him in this kind of position. And so there seems to be a money trail here in terms of the corruption that's behind a lot of Trump's pardons. But I mean, the bigger question, I think, for us as Americans is if it's not drug trafficking, if that's not what's driving what's going on with Venezuela, what is it? And if we really are just going to go start a war with Venezuela for the optics, because they like those videos of blowing up the boats and they think it makes them look tough on TikTok, or because we're going to go steal the oil from that country, which is also a war crime, I think that the whole America First idea, the whole idea that Trump was going to get us out of stupid wars should maybe be revisited.
We're going to take another break here. We'll be right back with more Rachel Maddow, everybody.